Now, it's no secret the Democratic Party has been systematically crushed by the Republicans, starting at the state level and culminating in the disastrous loss of all three branches of government in 2016. Now, despite that, the fact that Donald Trump is the most unpopular president in history, the Democrats, even with all this anti-Trump sentiment and all of this energy, they can't seem to capitalize on any of that. In fact, they're a disaster in one of the metrics they're actually supposed to be really good at. And that metric is raising money. Now, according to The Atlantic, in July, the DNC only raised about, this according to the New Republic, the DNC only raised about $3.8 million. That lags behind its Republican counterpart, the RNC, which raised a total of $10.2 million in that same month. They said this is the worst haul for any month since January of 2009, when Obama was first inaugurated. Overall, during the first half of 2017, the RNC has essentially pummeled the DNC, raising a total of $75.4 million to the Democrats' haul of $38.2 million. Now, the Republicans, of course, they do have an advantage. If you can call it an advantage, they have an incumbent president, right? Now, he's already started his re-election campaign. He's doing campaign rallies. So he's also raising money. So the Democrats, however, since Trump is so unpopular with a vast section of the American people, you would think that the Democrats would be able to fundraise as well off that. Well, why aren't they? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, the base. Progressives. We kind of have a problem with the DNC. And by kind of, I mean, we fucking hate the DNC. Understandably. Look, millions of people gave money to the DNC to support the campaign of Bernie Sanders. And they're now suing to get their money back. DNC fraud lawsuit. Now, they said that they were defrauded because of Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the former disgraced chair of the DNC, and, of course, the follow-up interim chair, Donna Brazile, who had also screwed over Sanders' campaign by giving campaign questions ahead of time to Clinton's campaign. She was caught. She was caught red-handed emailing these questions to the Hillary Clinton campaign. That's definitely wrong. You're definitely favoring one candidate over the other, even if they were softball questions. Nonetheless, that is tilting your hand towards a campaign when you're supposed to be neutral. You know, you're supposed to give both campaigns equal weight. They did not do so. Now, that inequity, that didn't sit well with the millions of people who gave their hard-earned money to the Democrats expecting a fair race. They expected a fair primary. They got no such thing. And that is documented. Not only that, but you also have a problem with large Democratic donors who gave millions of dollars to Hillary Clinton not giving to the DNC. Because who would want to give money to an organization that was so tone deaf that it lost an election to Donald freaking Trump? So the DNC, they're not doing well. They're not winning. Sad. Okay. And that's despite the energy surrounding the progressive movement. So now there is a lot of energy and there is a lot of money, but where is it going? Well, it turns out it's not going to the DNC. It's going to other groups. In July, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, which works to elect Democrats to the House, actually outraised its Republican counterpart by $6.3 million to $3.8 million. In 2017, the two parties' congressional committees were roughly neck and neck overall. Meanwhile, grassroots donors drove individual Democratic campaigns like that of Montana's Rob Quist. After Trump announced his first Muslim ban in January, donations to the ACLU also spiked, with the group raking in $24 million online over a single weekend. That is almost 7 times what they raised in the entirety of 2015. So that's significant. So all that money, all that energy, that passion is there, but it is not going towards the DNC. Now, there's another thing that's disastrous. We talk about fundraising. We talk about big donors. What about small donors, small dollar donations? Now, the RNC raised $33 million overall in small dollar donations versus $21 million for the DNC. That, according to Michael Whitney, Bernie Sanders' digital fundraising manager during the 2016 primary, is what he called concerning. He said, "This isn't just about money. Small dollar donors are an important measure of how much grassroots enthusiasm a campaign or organization has. And it's fairly clear. The DNC does not have that enthusiasm. That does not exist. There is no enthusiasm. And we wonder why. Why would there be, right? They have Tom Perez. They picked Tom Perez to lead them. This is a person who, on the Bernie Sanders Unity Tour, every time like he would go up and he would introduce Bernie Sanders, he would get booed, but Bernie Sanders would get cheered. So, And of course, it's because he's a member of the Democratic establishment, and that establishment has not embraced change, have not embraced the ideals of Bernie Sanders and the progressive movement, especially on policies that are popular not just with the progressives, but with the majority of the American people. Okay. Now, speaking of the establishment, there's another reason that these big donors are no longer going to the DNC. You have Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama launching their own organizations to raise money to support their own causes. Now, one of these organizations is a super PAC for Hillary Clinton called Onward Together. That's Hillary's super PAC, right? Now, one of the problems with it is that it is a super PAC and it raises unlimited dark money. There is a lack of transparency. According to the Campaign Legal Center, writing back in May, they said that Clinton's group is following a dangerous path that could further open the floodgates to even more unaccountable money in politics. Well, that sounds about right. I mean, are you surprised that Hillary Clinton has a super PAC that is getting even more dark money? You shouldn't be. Now, those are the problems. How do we fix them, right? For one, you got to completely redo the DNC. Top to bottom. Starting with Tom Perez. Gone. Get him out of here, right? Second, you replace him with progressives. And you start embracing progressive policy. Now, if you don't, you're not going to excite the base if you just continue to shill for establishment politics. And I realize, even if that happens, there are so many people out there that are so burnt by the DNC, so defrauded, right, who will never, never give to the DNC ever again, no matter what. And I understand those people. I don't blame them for feeling that way at all. Now, how many of those people are out there, I can't say. I can't put a number on that. But right now, it's fairly clear that the establishment is failing. And unless Democrats, unless the DNC starts to embrace progressives who are a majority, I mean, look, people who support Bernie Sanders within the Democratic Party, there are a lot of people on Twitter that might want you to believe or make you believe that, oh my God, there's just so much opposition among the Democratic base to Bernie Sanders and his policies. No, Bernie Sanders has an 80% approval rating among Democrats. Okay, his policies are also overwhelmingly supported by Democrats. For example, Medicare for all, a living wage, free college tuition. Those are incredibly popular. However, the DNC, look, they're not going to be able to harness that energy and use it to win elections if they don't actually go and support those policies. Democratic, and look, as far as fundraising, right? You've all probably gotten those emails from the DNC, right? Trying to raise money. They're pathetic. They're essentially begging at this point, right? And that's a corollary to the party. It's pathetic. There's really no vision to them. It's nothing but shameless begging. There's nothing to get excited about. Nothing for people to actually want to donate to, right? And if you want to get people on board, you have to have a vision and you have to fight for that vision. And until the Democratic Party learns that simple lesson, they will continue to fail and fail us. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.